Good morning, viewers. Good morning, guys, especially to our subject teacher, Sir Paul James Mona. Good morning, sir. I'm very sorry for my voice because I'm not feeling well, but I promise you to do this activity. Now, for today's lesson, we are talking about the geologic history of Earth. Before we are talking about the geologic history of Earth, let me explain of you the history and structure of the Earth. So Earth is an evolution of the continents, ocean, atmosphere, and biosphere. The layers of the rock of Earth's surface contain evidence of the evolutionary processes undergone by these components of the terrestrial environment during the times at which each layer was formed. By studying the rocks record from the very beginning, it is thus possible to trace their development and the resultant change through time. Now let's talk about the geological history of Earth. The geological history of Earth follows the major event in Earth past. Based on the geological time scale, a system of chronological measurement based on the study of planet rock layers. Earth formed about 4 to 54 billion years ago by accretion from the solar nebula, a disc-shaped mass of dust and gas left over from the formation of the Sun, which also created the solar system. The formation of the Earth was initially molten due to the extreme volcanism and frequent collision with other bodies. Eventually, the outer layer of the planet cooled to form the solid crust when water began accumulating in the atmosphere. Earth can be divided into three big eons, which is the Phanerozoic Eon, Proterozoic Eon, and Archean Eon. The Phanerozoic Eon is the current eon in the geologic time scale. It covers roughly 541 million years. During this period, continents drifted out, eventually collected into a single landmass known as Pangaea, and then split up into the current continental landmasses. The Phanerozoic is divided into three main eras, which is the Paleozoic, the Mesozoic, and the Cenozoic. The Paleozoic era. The Paleozoic spanned from roughly 542 to 251 million years ago and is subdivided into 6 geological periods, from oldest to youngest. Geologically, the Paleozoic starts shortly after the breakup of supercontinent called Pannotia, and at the end of the global ice age. Throughout the early Paleozoic, the Earth landmass was broken up into the substantial number of relative small continents. Toward the end of the era, supercontinent called Pangaea, which include most of the Earth land's area. Second era of the Phanerozoic Ion is the Mesozoic era. The Mesozoic era, also called the Age of Reptiles and the Age of Conifers, is the second to last era of Earth's geological history, lasting from about 252 to 66 million years ago, and comprising the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods. The last era of the Phanerozoic Ion is the Cenozoic era. Cenozoic era, third of the major eras of the Earth history, beginning about 66 million years ago and extending to the present. It was the interval of time during which of the continents assumed their modern configurations and geographic position, and during which Earth flora and fauna evolved towards those of the present. The second eon of the geologic history of Earth is the Proterozoic Eon. The Proterozoic Eon is a geological eon spanning time interval from 2,500 to 541 million years ago. It is the most recent part of the Precambrian supereon. What happened to the Proterozoic Eon? During the Proterozoic Eon, modern plate tectonics became active, and the ancient cores of the continents moved over wide areas of the globe, accumulating smaller fragments of crust and sometimes colliding with other large land masses. The opposite also happened, leading the continental rifting. Now let's talk about Archean Eon. What is Archean Eon? Archean Eon, also spelled as Archean Aeon, the early of two formal division of the Precambrian time, about 4.6 billion to 541 million years ago, and the period when life first formed on Earth. Records of Earth's primitive atmosphere and ocean emerged in the earliest Archean, or what we call the Eoarchean era. Now, what happened to Archean Aeon? During the Archean Aeon, methane droplets in the air shrouded the young Earth in a global maze. There was no oxygen gas on Earth. Complex chemical reaction in the young ocean transformed carbon-containing molecules into simple, living cells that did not need oxygen to live. Now I'm done talking about the geological history of Earth. I hope you learned a lot. Good morning and thank you for watching.